So, hi.
We're back again.
We are. We're here today to do a review on the Ryobi Inflator Deflator pump because at the moment we've been pumping our boards up by hand up until this point, and we already own.
So this battery happens to fit our lawnmower. So Ryobi does a whole range of power tools which uses a single battery form fit. There's a couple of different amp hours, but this one works perfectly. It goes straight from the lawnmower into our inflator deflator, so we don't have to have multiple.
So
batteries.
the reason we chose this particular pump was because we already had this.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have done that otherwise.
Correct. We sort of had the charge.
And this pump retails at Bunnings for
It's about $119,
I think, but it has been hard to get, so we ordered it on Amazon.
Yep.
So you're just going to click that battery in there. One other thing to note, it comes with this hose already, but with no end on the hose.
Correct. So this is it's got two sides to it. Let's just show the front of it here. It's got two sides. There's the low pressure, which goes up to about 5 psi.
So that's this side.
And then there's a high pressure, which goes up to, I'm going to guess, somewhere around 35, 40 psi. You can do car tyres with it, fundamentally.
So, sorry. Yeah, okay. So that's the low pressure side there.
No,
Sorry, she's done that wrong.
that's the low pressure side there.
That's where it goes in there, the low pressure side. No, we haven't got an end on that. We'll come back to that in a minute. And then this is the high pressure side. And how does that come off?
So you just take that off like that. There we go.
This part we actually bought on Amazon. So we needed that. It did not come with the pump.
Correct, it did not come with the pump because the pump's designed for car tyres. So it's got your standard car tyre connector. What we've got here is we have a little adapter that goes through from a car tyre connector into a standard stop.
And what we do is when we finish the low pressure pumping, we actually unscrew that off there.
So ideally we want two of those.
Yeah, we probably could buy another one.
This part's not ideal.
And we screw that into the end of this one. And that is when you see the video we're about to show you, that's what we start with. We start with the low pressure.
Yeah, and I think screwing and unscrewing is not ideal. It's likely to damage the pipe, so we do need to get a second one.
There we go. We'll come back. We'll show you the video that we took of us using this machine to pump up the Aquamarina Super Trip board, which is our biggest board. So it's about 12'6", I think, the Aquamarina. So we'll come back in a minute and we'll show you the rest of the video.
Just a small side note, this does come with accessories built in for things like if you're doing soccer balls, footy balls and things like that. There's a couple of adapters built in here already, so that does come standard, but not subs.
There you go. But yes, the sub fittings don't come standard. Okay, we'll come back after we've blown up the board and give you our final thoughts. Okay, so we've got the pump here, which Simon's now going to use the low pressure to blow the board up to start with, and then the high pressure to finish it off. So I'm just going to check on the time. So what's the time? 7:42 p.m. This part seems to go really fast. It's the high pressure part that takes the time. So how do you know when to stop the low pressure, the high pressure. Is this the
low
high? Or,
pressure.
this is the low pressure.
You'll hear some to cut out. Hear that? It's starting to struggle.
Yep.
PSI to what I want, so I'll just probably go up to 12 PSI just because we're still checking the accuracy of this.
Hang on, can't see.
Okay, so there we go, you can see I've got the 12 PSI set.
Yep, and just show us the end of that pump.
And this is just it's actually designed for car tyres. But what it is, it's an adapter
Yep.
which imitates the nozzle on a car tyre and has the pump connector on the other side. Actually, I'm going to take off there, I think.
Okay.
From the other side.
Very good. So we'll just come over here. We're just taking the end off the one and connecting it to the other. We bought that adapter on, I think on eBay.
Yes.
Okay, so we've set it.
Second side.
And this is the okay, so we are at how many minutes in?
11 minutes.
So we're 11 minutes in and we are at 7.5 psi. So it is pretty slow. Okay, so what are we at now? Down.
About 15 minutes.
And what's the PSI?
9.
9. Okay, it's doing another check-in. As you can tell, it's getting dark now. And we are at 18 minutes and 10 PSI. Okay, so we are how many minutes in? Oh no, we need the light. Okay, so another check-in. We are at 22 minutes and 34 seconds, and we are at 11 and a half PSI. Okay, so we are sitting now at 29 minutes and we're at 14 PSI and a little nervous, worried that maybe the pump isn't accurate and the whole thing is going to blow up. But anyway, it's a long time that it's been running. Nearly there. Okay, so we're now at 15 and it's 32 minutes. And are we going to stop, or shouldn't it stop by itself?
Sure. Good point.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're going to get the manual pump just to check the PSI. Okay, what's the reading? Hang on. Come over and have a look. Oh, use this phone.
Dark.
Uh-oh, I've run out of... Oh, the phone battery's died.
It's exactly 15.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's good to know. Okay, so you've seen the video, you've seen how long it's taken to do the pump. The low pressure part of it is quite quick.
Very, very quick. So we pretty much get it up to about 5 PSI in
A couple of minutes.
a couple of minutes.
I
Very
think
quick.
probably five.
And
five.
I find that first part actually a lot of effort because you're pumping an empty sump. So I actually quite like the fact it gets up to that 5 PSI so quickly.
Yeah, that's so in other words you prefer using the pump for the first part of the inflation,
correct, yes.
where you're basically going from a flat skin to a
Semi-rigid,
board.
yeah, but not usable.
But not usable, but about 5 PSI. And we actually will have on the video, I think, the timings that it took to do that.
Yeah.
The problem for us is when you go from the low pressure and you unplug that and you put your high pressure in, it then took some 32 minutes
Yes.
to get to 15 PSI.
Very, very slow to get up to about 15 PSI.
So look, you're going to have an awful lot of patience to do that, and for our ongoing use of this, we will take this in the car because it is actually really simple to use. By the way, it does not have a DC adapter, is that correct?
Correct, so it only runs on battery.
It only runs on the battery. So we need to make sure we charge the battery before we take it in the car. And what we would say is we would use it to get up to that first step of the inflation, and then we would actually prefer to use the hand pump, which doesn't take that long in the end. So our review of this is, would we buy it again?
Look, it's not bad, but you do need to have a little bit of planning time as well when you use this.
So if you're unpacking all your gear, get this plugged in, get it cooking, then you can be putting your oars together and getting all of your other gear out of the car. If you're not impatient, then it'll work for you. But if you're in a bit of a rush, we would suggest maybe that you use it just for the first part of the blowing up, and then you use the hand pump to finish the job. But look, it is a useful thing to have.
Yeah. No, look, I think it's definitely useful. I think it definitely forms a part of our sort of toolkit for when we're going out paddleboarding. But it doesn't necessarily fully replace the need for a little bit of sweat and effort just to do the final pumping. One side note, the instructions on the back of the Ryobi do actually say that you should ideally allow the pump to cool for 10 minutes after 10 minutes of continuous use.
So therefore our 30 minutes of inflation
would
have taken us twice as long potentially if we had a 10-minute break each time it hit 10 minutes. But yeah, that's our review of the Ryobi Inflator Deflator. If you like this review, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you're interested in our other reviews and our locations playlist, then please make sure you subscribe to the channel. We hope to see you again soon.
See you next time.
Thank you.